So this week I'm gonna try to get a headset reach adjust installed onto the downhill bike. This is a size medium. Reach is for 450. And because like I've been riding the two pivots so much recently, which are mediums and have a reach of 468, I'm now used to a longer reach, and I just feel so cramped on this bike. So I have currently a ZS56 upper and lower, and I should be able to do a 10 mil reach adjust there, so I should take it up to 460. And I'm hoping that kind of helps, just because like when I ride this, I feel very cramped on it, and like in the photos and videos I get of myself, you can kind of see I'm in like a hunched over position, but we're gonna see if that kind of helps the bike feel a little bit better, hopefully. And then right here, this is what I am using for the reach adjust headset. It's from Works Components. You can get a bunch of different ones online, I think ranging from like 3, 5, 8, and 10. So I went with the most reach I could get, trying to get me the 468 reach I like for my pivots. And I'm assuming it's kind of like this, where you just put it farther away in your frame. You have the upper bearings, lower bearings. So I'm thinking something like that, but we will see. And then before I get this all installed, the other thing I want to do with this bike is actually measure the sag, because I have, I think, 25 in the front, and then, 30 in the rear or whatever, and where I'm going to have my reach extended, it's going to put more weight onto the front, so I then want to try the same air pressure to see if that changes anything, so I'm just more or less curious. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, where this is a ZS or zero stack, it's flat, and the Works component one that I ordered is an EC external cup. I asked them and I Googled it. You should be able to put them into your frame, even though they're different. It's just gonna sit up a tad bit taller, like where normally it's flush right here. It's just gonna sit up that little bit. So I'm probably gonna take out a few of the stem spacers just to kind of make it a little bit more level, but a zero stack will work with an EC, I think. All right, so just got the bike back with the reach adjust headset. You can kind of see that rather than being centered in the top tube, it's just pushed forward. Works some components. One thing that looks kind of funny is, if I can show it, is how far back the frame is compared to where the crown, like the stanchions are. Can't really see it, but... And this one, because the external cups, the bottom of the frame is here. That's the external cup, and up there. So it does sit a little bit different in the frame, so you want to make sure you have enough steer tube to do this too. But we'll ride it today, see how it feels. All right, so I've been able to get the reach adjust headset installed at my local bike shop. I rode it for maybe 2 months or so, and it completely changed how the bike feels. I guess in a good way and a bad way. So I had prior just like a Cane Creek headset. Reach was 450, I believe. And I went with a 10 mil because I had a ZS56 upper and lower, so I could do the biggest one. So my reach eventually got pushed to 460. The reason I wanted that is because I noticed with my pivots, their reach pivot is known for having a very big reach, and that what I noticed riding those bikes to then this was that my arms were so much more relaxed and comfortable. With this, when I would ride it races, I feel like I was just so on top, like too front over, like my body was pushed almost over the front rear wheel rather than being kind of like my head over the stem. So I didn't like that, because I felt like I was pushing myself back. Like I felt like I was almost riding on the rear tire for like good body position and not weighting the front. Like I just felt so cramped on the bike all the time. Like photos and videos of me jumping, I would always be kind of like this in the air, or just like I couldn't move around. It was hard for me to do like bike body separation, just because like I felt like I just didn't have enough space to work with. The other thing I noticed was that I had trouble getting my heels down. So I guess if you think about it, you're like, got your handlebars really close, try to put your heels down, you kind of have to put your heels up, but then getting out, my hands out farther, I was able to almost like push my hips back and relax a bit more and drop my heels. So with photos and videos, I did notice that those changes did what I wanted to. So my head's more over the headset. I have enough room to like move around, go forward, go backward. I'm leaning the bike better, getting my hips twisted, getting them off to the side. I feel more centered on the bike, and my arms are just so much more relaxed. Like I can just like, still it's like you're still racing and it's really fast, but I feel just more inside the bike, more like not so on top of the bike, in the bike, more relaxed. But one thing I will say with the 10 mil is that you do have these external cups right here, which is about like, I don't know, I want to say almost 10 here and 10 here. And because you're raising your frame up and your handlebars, because your frame's being pushed up from this lower one, then your handlebars are being pushed up, it slackened out the bike more. Because if you go with an 8, you'll have 0 stack up, or 0 stack. But with this, you do have your front end getting raised, so it looked like almost like a chopper bike. It was really weird. And my first few rides on it, it just threw me off just because like you do have more reach, but the front was so far out in front of me that like I noticed a lot of understeering. I didn't really do anything else to fix that, just because I think you could have like messed with the handlebars. I think the only other thing is maybe doing something with the fork lowers with the rake, or I think maybe the rake is one of these crowns. I didn't feel like messing with that. I just realized that I almost had to push in and commit harder to these turns, which if you go more confidently into a turn and push a little bit more, you're gonna do better. So it was kind of weird to get used to having the understeering. Like the only time I noticed understeering was through like really fast corners, like off camber, all that was fine. It was just the berms, but I felt like I would hit the berm, but then exit so late to where I felt like I was gonna fall off. Later, then I got comfortable where I was just pushing in farther, like pushing in harder, and then just really making sure that my eyes were pointing to where I wanted to go, and it was fine. But the Reach Adjust headset definitely did help with my riding and the way I wanted to be on the bike. Like my heels were a lot more dropped. I'm just more relaxed, more comfortable. Going off drops and jumps, you feel more in the bike, and you can really just like push and let the bike work through it. I felt like I was just on top of the bike like this rather than having the front wheel out there in front of me. The only other thing that's kind of weird was that when you look at your fork and your frame, usually you kind of see your lower stanchion or whatever, and then you almost have your head tube right here lined up or maybe sticking out. It's kind of weird to see how back it is. You probably can't see it from the video, but the fork now is so far out forward. So it looks a bit weird, but once you throw a race plate on there, no one will know. But yeah, I really like the Reach Adjust headset. Works components. If you're looking for more reach or less reach, you can go both ways. You can go up 10, minus 10, and I think you can do like 10, 8, 5, 3. They also make angle adjust too, so you can adjust your head tube angle and make it slacker or steeper. So I think it was a great option, rather than trying to like do a bunch of crazy stuff or buy a new frame just to adjust reach. You can kind of figure it out with a Reach Adjust headset, which is I think less than $100.